Alrighty, welcome ladies and gentlemen tonight to the Racers Elite Xfinity Series at the Daytona International Speedway. Ron Palisby has all the action here. Supposed to have Dakota LaRue alongside here throughout the course of the night. He may or may not be here. We got some pop-up weather here, may have affected him, so we'll see how that goes. Dakota LaRue is supposed to be scheduled to announce, so if not, you can deal with me all night, and we'll deal with that as well. So, 77 degrees ambient air temperature, 61% humidity, partly cloudy, 3-mile-an-hour wind gust, and here at Daytona Beach, Florida, Daytona International Speedway. So drafting to play a role tonight, and usually a good star-studded field here with the Racers Elite Network and the Racers Elite Xfinity Series. So we'll see how that plays out as drivers setting qualifying time here. Once again, cameras by Whiplash SimCam is going to be presented tonight. So we thank them for all they do that allow us to put on this great broadcast for you guys. Thank you to everybody tuning in out there as well, and all the drivers showing up as we're getting ready to perform a fantastic show here at the Racers Elite Network, the Daytona International Speedway as well. So welcome into tonight's broadcast as the drivers working on qualifying times. And we'll take a look right now as Truth Hoke fastest here. Let's take a look at the practice times. Let's see who we need to watch here in qualifying, see if they can duplicate their times. As it looks like Terry Fennell fastest on the board, 48.108 second lap time. That was a draft time, so we are not going to be able to look at that as far as qualifying times. Is Terry Fennell with a 50.099 going to go quick time on the board with that number 50 machine. And speaking of, we're going to look at the ugly factor a little bit, as I didn't have my training paints on, so unfortunately we aren't showing a whole lot yet. So getting into the rhythm here for tonight's broadcast, and we will this route here is Troy Thomas, Nitrous Cowboy, out there. Stephen Luttrell jumps to fourth quick in the 36 machine, as that's going to put him up in position number 4 with a 51.011 second lap time. The antisocial Toyota Supra. Barry Nelson, 50.647. He'll clock in fourth quick in that number 96 machine. Alrighty, so looking at the board here, last lap time come in, Nitrous Cowboy Troy Thomas, 50.842 second lap time. Quick time, Barry Nelson, 50.073 seconds. Fast time for Barry Nelson. So far, he will go to the top of the leaderboard. So right now it's Barry Nelson, Terry Fennell, Truth Hoke. Stephen Luttrell, Jonathan Stidham, Troy Thomas, Kenny Campos. Brandon Sanfilippo goes quick time, 50.061. It's not by much here. 50.061, a fantastic lap time for Brandon Sanfilippo. That is a flying lap time. We'll see if it's any better here in that number 12. What a lap did that first one he laid down. Let's see if his second one any better here. Actually, that was the second lap. We'll see. That's probably going to be the end of it. He's going to bring it to pit road. So, great qualifying effort, Brandon Sanfilippo. Stephen Luttrell, Parks Antisocial, sponsored 36. Up on top of the mountain as well. Jonathan Stidham out there, currently 6th on the qualifying board. Oh, okay. Lee Campbell 7th quick right now. Troy Thomas currently 8th quick. Brandon Biddy is 9th quick on the board, and he's got his first lap in. Good enough for 9th quick in the 22 machine. James Foster also qualifying, 50.19 2-second lap. Kenny Campos 50.222. We'll see if his second lap's any better. Actually, he's got both laps in the 44. His second lap was faster, so that was a fantastic lap time for him. Qualifying rolling right along here. We got the number 9 out there on the speedway. James Foster Sr. logging some lap times as well. Fantastic looking wrap on that machine. On the number 9 Ford. Like multiple drivers opting not to qualify. This will give us a few moments here. Get set up for our starting grid. This qualifying get ready to come to a close here. Alrighty, fans witness the field of cars before us. These aren't just drivers, they are adrenaline junkies, destined for the podium. The tension is breaking, the green flag is waiting, and history is about to be written. Introducing the starting lineup for today's main event. And it's going to look a little something like this. Starting on the inside of the front row is going to be Brandon Sanfilippo in the number 12 machine. To his outside is going to be the 22 of Brandon Biddy. Starting inside of row number 2 in the third starting position is the Levi Goat number 96 is Barry Nelson. His outside, the Grizzly number 50 of Terry Pennell will start P4. Looking inside of row number 3 in the fifth starting spot is Truth Hope. His outside will be the 36th anti-social sponsored Toyota Supra of Stephen Luttrell. Starting inside of row number 4 in the 7th starting spot is going to be the 42 of Jonathan Stidham. His outside, the number 60 of Lee Campbell will start P8. Starting inside of row number 5 in the 9th starting spot, this is the Nitrous Cowboy. It's Troy Thomas, the 88, is outside the 9 of James Foster Sr. will start P10. Looking inside of row number 6 in the 11th starting position, is going to be the 44 of Kenny Campos. That is outside the Hello Kitty sponsored ride, the 01, it's Sean Dunaway. Inside of row number 7 in the 13th starting position, it is the Racers Elite sponsored 98 of Andrew Tipp. That is outside the Hess gasoline sponsored 86 is Kyle Hess. Starting inside of number 8, 15th starting position is the Napa Audio Parts sponsored 15, it's Kinsley Smith. To his outside, Christopher Pendle in the 94 will start P16. Starting inside of number 9 in the 17th starting spot is the 91 of Russ Martin Jr. To his outside, the 8 of Curtis Ecker will start P18. Inside of row, no more row there. We are done with our starting lineup. The field is waiting. The green flag is coming next here at the Daytona International Speedway. $80 laps the distance here in the Xfinity Series tonight. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the Gem 4 Cup Series tomorrow night, Thursday nights here with the Racers Elite. We look forward to that race as well. Going to be a great time. Thank you guys for tuning in. This race is about to begin here. Qualifying efforts out of the way here. And we'll look at the point standings coming into tonight's race here. Further going through the broadcast as time allows, we'll see the Racers Elite. Biggest thing with this, we may not have time to talk about it. We'll might bring it up at the end, and we'll update it and talk about the point standings going out. We'll see. There's a very high tendency if this race goes green to checker. We will see how it goes. The attrition may get the best of them. The iRacing.com official pace car pulls in. We're about to go green here as they enter the restart zone. Green flag is out, and away we go. Brendan Sanfilippo will lead us to and through the start zone as we go forward in tonight's racing action. Brandon Biddy gets out to an early lead here, gets a jump on the outside of Brandon Sanfilippo. It seems like the inside lane's going to get its bearings gathered back up as they roll through turns 1 and 2. Levi Garrett, 96 of Barry Nelson. Good push here to Brandon Sanfilippo's number 12. Going on the back straightaway now, and looks like Barry Nelson's trying to do a little squirrely here. That's going to be a little hard to follow through as Jonathan Stidham comes right up the back bumper on the inside lane of the 96 of Nelson. With the back out of it there. Good check up by the inside lane, allowing him to get gathered back up and stay into that inside lane without having to get out of order, out of line. And causing a big snafu or catastrophe down the back straightaway. Lap number 1 going to officially go in the books. Going to be led by Brandon Biddy in the 22. So a little bit of scatterbrain back and forth. There's 18 cars competing for tonight's race, and see how things adjust going forward here. Great side-by-side drafting throughout the course of this race here. Now we're going to try and give Terry Fennell a look to the inside as he got around on the outside down in front of Brandon Sanfilippo, and that'll check up the inside lane pretty good here. Looks like the 50 of Fennell's going to have the lead on the outside in the Grizzly-sponsored 50, and he's got the antisocial 36 of Stephen Luttrell working the outside, that Toyota Supra. Multiple wins here this season, and so definitely one to work with for sure. If Terry can keep that ride up there. Terry has a lot of experience here in the Racers Elite Series, and gets a win here or there, but this will be a great night for him to pick up a win. Could be a good night for Stephen Luttrell to continue that win streak. I don't know. I want to look and see if Terry Fennell has any teammates here with him tonight. So something sometimes forget that we have an option to look at. Terry Fennell's got Barry Nelson, so yeah, he's got quite the group there to help along. Lee Campbell, Barry Nelson, Truth Hope, Troy Thomas, and Christopher Pendle there. That's the Misfits team, so he's definitely got a good backing standing behind him with knowledge, and drivers making this race very interesting in themselves. There's Stephen Luttrell, kind of the lone soul out there in Luttrell Racing land. And I know we got the Luttrell group out there watching, so I know you guys are always first and foremost here unless something happens. So thank you guys for being loyal to the stream. And Brandon Biddy, also part of the Misfits crew. And Brandon Sanfilippo, not so much. He's driving Extreme Inc. solo here. And James Foster Sr., also part of the Misfits crew, it looks like. Oh, hang on. I'll click down. There's Runover Racing. So him and Jonathan Stidham working together. So he's going to have to who's working with who here. And then we got the should take part of that as well. And the Misfits crew. And Kinsley Smith is almost the period in there's got them mixed up. So driving Extreme Inc.'s got Kinsley Smith as well. Let's see what happens. So Kinsley Smith and Brandon Sanfilippo. Well, it's not showing them both in there. And Russ Martin Jr. all in on his lonesome there for Gentleman Racing. Kenny Campos is driving for Threshold Motorsports. And then Curtis Ecker's Chicken Coop Racing. He's got Sean Dunaway and Curtis Ecker. So, and Kyle Hess is High Wide and Handsome Motorsports. So that gives you an idea of what teams are being represented out here. So we got a battle up front, both lanes side by side, drafting, making things happen here. The biggest movers so far this race, Stephen Luttrell and Lee Campbell. Lee Campbell up 5 spots as well as Stephen Luttrell. If Campbell get back to that second position, he's got the hard charger position for the time being. A long way to go yet in this race. Lap 75 or 75 laps to go. Lap 5 currently in the books here. Working lap 5. A long way to go here at the Daytona International Speedway. Working lap 6 is 5 in the books. That's what it is. While they're side by side, and Stephen Luttrell looking at the race lead on the inside with a push from Brandon Biddy's 22 Ford. Yeah, Ford, Toyota, Chevy, Ford. So every brand is represented well here throughout the course of the front of this field right now. So with that being said, we'll take a look here at our point standings while everybody's kind of shaking the demons out and getting things ready for. Oh, hang on, we saw a battle there. It looked like they were going to go 3 wide, but I think it was somebody just changing lanes, and of course you got to do it quick, fast, and hurry here. You can't dilly dally. It'll cause a catastrophe, cause an accident. So the 9 of James Foster Sr. get up high. And look like John Stidham drug the brake just a little bit. Now as you look to the inside of James Foster Sr. And he's gonna maybe got the wall a little bit to try over, but still it's Lee Campbell out front. We'll take a look at our point standings real quick here. Get the top 20. So right now, Brandon Puffenbarger is your current turn off CC. Your current point leader. Daniel Honeycutt second. Andrew Tuft is third. Makes you think. Maybe look into this. You think with the way that the wins have gone, you think Stephen Luttrell will be at the top of this list? Let me double check that before we go over those. Something does not seem right. Something seems fishy. San Felipe now looking for a push from lead 55 of Truth Hoke on the outside. They're a little bit back there. Brandon San Felipe jumps to the high side. They're a little back and forth trying to get those cars lined back up there. Not quite interesting. That's a little interesting there as they work their way around the speedway. It's going to allow Lee Campbell to get up there in the second position, right behind Terry Fennell. Right there. Alright, cool. I know exactly what happened. Yep, we were wrong. I was wrong. Ross Martin Jr. getting around Curtis Ecker for position number 13. Tell you what, Terry Fennell and that Grizzly number 50 having an outstanding performance thus far. take a look here at our points now that I got them right here. There it is. Stephen Luttrell, 137 total points. Your current point leader with 2 wins. Sean Dunaway in second right now with 117 points. Andrew Tupp third with 114 points. Kyle Hess is fourth with 112 points. Lee Campbell with 110 points is fifth. Christopher Prindle 108 points is sixth. Dennis Kane seventh, 107 points. Kirby Lane Scott eighth, 105 points. Brandon Biddy with 104 points in ninth. Brandon Sanfilippo with 102 points in 10th. Troy Thomas with 100 points in 11th. Russell Martin Jr. is with 97 points in 12th. Hendricks Bromberg with 93 points is 13th. Bill Hagan 14th with 90 points. Truth to Hope with 88 points is 15th. Ray Nelson with 87 points is 16th. Terry Fennell with 84 points is 17th. 18th. Curtis Ecker with 75 points.
So, Ron, you got a coffee?
62 points is 19th. And James Foster with 51 points is 20th. Steve Sizemore is 21st with 43 points. And Dana Ryan is 22nd with 26 points. And that's your point standings as far as those go. Like we stated there, Stephen Luttrell with the most wins at 2. According to this is your current points leader. And we'll see if he can 3 in a row this thing. Stephen Luttrell won the last 2 races. Your current team points, your team standings. Don't have a graphic for that at the moment. We'll take a look at those as well. Chicken Coop Racing has the team point lead by 1 point over the Misfits right now. 21 points. 21 point gap to Chicken Coop Racing from the Misfits. So Misfits has 353 points. Chicken Coop Racing has 353. Misfits has 332. Biddy Family Racing has 220. Runover Racing has 206. Highlight and Handsome Motorsports has 155. Luttrell Racing has 137. Driving Extreme Inc. has 102. And Adrenaline Racing has 97 coming into today's race. James Foster right now has set the fastest lap of the race just a moment ago. Last time around with a 47.867 second lap.
Ron, I don't know if you got a coffee back in here.
Just a moment here. It's clicked off, but we do have a Dakota in the booth with us, so give me just a moment here. Let's set aside to die in the middle of that. There's no really. Alrighty.
Well, geez, I did not realize what today was, but here we are. How are you?
Oh, just we were kind of up in the air whether this was going to happen or not. We had some storms and some tornado warnings and watches and all that great stuff that everybody's dealing with. So, fortunately, we've escaped the catastrophes and the demolition. We're watching some fantastic racing here at Daytona, and we got power.
Glad to hear that, man. Again, sorry for being late. You get busy doing 100 things in a day, and some things slip your mind.
Life goes on whether we're here or not.
That is fair, but right now it looks like Terry Fennell leading the group here. Lee Campbell second. Not too bad for them two. They typically struggle a little bit at certain tracks, and good to see them up front.
Yeah, it's not very common. You see that number 50 machine out front. He's got the number 50 Grizzly Chevy dialed in. and seems to be that this is his place to race tonight. He's putting forth the effort, and he's got some great help from Lee Campbell right behind him.
Yeah, and today's the day I believe we find out if Stephen Luttrell is going to be called Tyler Reddick. I mean,
yeah, unfortunately the Reddick streak ends, so we'll have to see if Luttrell can outstep him. That will be the feat yet to be had here is Kinsley Smith. Great run on the outside. He's got run over Racing's 42 of Jonathan Stidham behind him, pushing, maybe put him out front here. As he's going to do so down the back straightaway.
and I always love me a not time race, especially at super speedways, man. It just, you really get to see the detail that these guys put in this car, the shine, the spec map as it would be called on iRacing, but you can tell how much work and detail these guys have really put in here.
Yeah, we got a lot of talented and skilled program painters across the course of the sim, and their artwork is, so there's a lot out there, and there's a lot of creativity that goes behind these, and some fantastic looking schemes. It just makes these things pop.
Like Kinsley Smith's going to be taking over the lead, working that outside lane, being pushed by Brandon Sanfilippo in that 12 machine. And outside lane's looking pretty strong. I'm imagining the track's pretty cool with it being nighttime here at the moment. So that's good to see. As we've been struggling getting the outside line to work in the Racers Elite.
It looks like 80-degree track temperature right now. It's about 4 degrees warmer than the air temperature. So the track temperature, air temperature seems like it's gone down. The track temperature's gone up just a little bit. It started out right around 70s, they're at 76 degrees, but it's definitely gone up a little bit, but it ain't been too bad.
It'll fluctuate a little bit, especially with the cars running around here and stuff like that. But let's take a look at the YouTube chat here. It looks like William Luttrell showed up. Says Stephen Luttrell fan club in the house. Go number 36. Appreciate you for stopping by, William.
We could really throw this race for a loop in the course of these super speedway races, and it would be interesting to see how the race would progress if the loop was that the leader each lap had to slow down, go to the apron and slow down and go through the chicane or the bus stop on the backstretch.
No, it would be absolutely hilarious. There's this place called Race Xfinity. They do races all the time. They got redeems, obviously not for points or anything, but a race where people can redeem points to make, you can make the whole field go down the pit road full speed. Obviously, they clear their black flags and stuff like that. And it's just random things like that. Or under caution, the leader has to drop to the back, or you have to bring someone from the back to the front, or you have to restart 3 wide, 4 wide. I mean, they got all sorts of things, man. I've been in a couple of the races. It's really fun.
Well, it definitely sounds like one for the ages.
Now, I remember, I think we was at, I think it was at Phoenix, and we were using the Pro 2 lights, and we got one of the redeems to go down pit road full speed, and let me tell you, that is not fun.
Sounds like a handful.
Yeah, but it looks like Kinsley Smith still holding strong up here to the lead. I need to cut my trading paints on, because I was like, why is this car all white? But that'd probably be why.
Yeah, I did that earlier. I had to, in the middle of qualifying, right as soon as I went into qualifying mode, we had to load our trading paints up, so we went through that hiccup earlier, and we're all settled in here, and hopefully trading paints is acting proper after the update. So
yeah, I do
contact.
Have a lot of, whoa,
that was Truth Hoke, and what else is involved in that? Looks like
I think it was Torrey Thomas in an 88 machine.
I think it was the Kyle Hess. I'm not sure exactly.
Give me one moment. I'll go back and take a look here now that my paints are loaded. Get a little better understanding what happened here.
Really Brandon Biddy.
It looked like Brandon Biddy got loose coming out of 4, and we've seen that a lot in NASCAR recently, especially like Cletus McFarland in the trucks and stuff like that. Turn 4 is just getting where it's getting really loose. And try to figure out who that is. That was not Kyle Hess. That was actually Russ Martin Jr. It almost got sent down to the pits there.
Oh boy, that fortunately was able to hang on to a great recovery. Good hands on that incident there. It didn't draw the caution. Great recovery, and unfortunately it did shake up the field just a hair. And Russ Martin Jr. and Trent Hoke and James Foster Sr. have to try to work together to run this field down. As we've been 25 laps under green, working lap 26.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen quite a few of these races go flag to flag, but they're in a good spot if a caution does come out to avoid some damage or anything like that. But I'm watching this 55 try to push Russ, and it looks like he got a little loose going into the corner there, so they're kind of playing with their hand grenade back here.
Oh yeah, you got the shell and the pin, and right now it just hooks the pin.
Man, I missed quite a bit of this race. I can't even lie about it. Already 27 laps into this thing, or the start of 27 here.
Yeah, Kinsley Smith from 15th to 1st so far, biggest mover thus far. We'll see if we can manage to shake that off. And biggest story right now, Stephen Luttrell, looking for a 3rd win of the season, but he is in the top 5, so he's not out of the contention spot. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on the antisocial number 36 Toyota Supra and where he is in the field, as he's currently working in that 5th position.
Yeah, and then I got a feeling once we get some pit stops, this field's really going to get spread out, and we're really going to have a better understanding of who's got a chance to win here. As you see someone getting loose on the outside, I believe that might have been Lee Campbell in that 60 machine being pushed by Andrew Death up there.
Yeah, that's who's being pushed. I believe Terry Fennell was actually looking for a hole to get in on the bottom, and now they're trying. I think they're trying to cycle in for their first round of pit stops potentially. Feels around 40.
Cars doing a pretty good job, not falling too far back. Only about 4.5 seconds, and I mean they're not necessarily losing a lot of time here, so still in contention to possibly get caught back up here, as the front pack is really not nose to tail pushing too hard. Well, man, last week I was able to get a 3rd screen, so I'm actually starting to work on triple monitor setup now.
That's awesome. What resolution are you looking at?
That I have not the slightest clue, so I'll have to figure that out later.
So let me know. I'll send some stuff your way as well. We'll see. What size monitors you got?
I believe they are 32s. I got 2 32s and 1 28. So it's a little wonky, but I've been able to make it work. What I do is I stretch the screen to make it fit on all 3, and it does work. It looks a little weird, but it does work.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll help you out there a little bit. We'll see what comes our way here in the near future. I'm gonna be on. I think I'm gonna get one. We're at least gonna get in 2K. I think here before too long.
Ah, nice.
So we'll see. I got one coming my way that somebody said they weren't using. So it's brand new in the box, and they just don't see themselves getting any use out of it. So he said he's sending it my way. So that's where we're rolling.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, if I had something like that, I'd rather be able to, help someone else out if I could.
Alright, that's the great way the world communicates here, and the way things roll sometimes. So it's one of the leagues I broadcast for. The guy upgraded, and he bought one, and he gets himself using it. So he's send it my way.
Yeah, but back to the races side of things. They only got about 3 cars up top, so maybe you're right about that pit call coming soon here, as everyone's really just dove down to the bottom. Or maybe they just thought the outside line wasn't working, but they're in 3 cars kind of stuck up top here at the moment.
Well, they were saying somewhere around like lap 40, so we'll see. We are getting kind of close to that, and you do need to start working your way down, because sometimes it can take a lot to get down there on the bottom. Especially if you're up front running with the leaders. That bottom lane is very known to be a zipper effect, and by the time you get to about where you think you're going to be able to drop in, as Lee Campbell's going to drop in there, but you can see that line of cars, there's nowhere else for Andrew Teft or Curtis Ecker to drop in right now, and they're kind of riding along, but have to drop all the way back here to try to get in lane. No, you can get if he can get a little bit of side draft to enter tip, maybe able to squeeze in front of that 44. But the 44's got a lot of draft there, so Kenny Campo's gonna hang on to that position as he's gonna allow the 98 to drop in behind him. Now they Curtis Ector off the top shelf, and they've successfully got everybody down to the bottom lane in less than about 3 laps.
Yeah, now that everyone's kind of single filed out in the bottom lane, that is going to hurt the 3 cars back there, the 91, 55, and the 9 car, as they're not really going to be able to use the advantage of them being side by side and side drafting and slowing each other up here. So they're going to have to execute a very, very good pit stop. Try to make up some time here.
Yeah, it looks like going to have to be a splashing game. I have to try to short pit a little bit, try and take just a little bit less fuel and build a strategy off of that. Which will potentially hurt them if they don't get a little yellow vinyl.
Yeah, but we're hoping not to see that here today. I'd like to see another coast to coast, green to checkered here.
Yeah, they're slowly working on it here. As we're just shy of halfway done with this race. We got 48 laps remaining already. 32 currently complete. Working on 33 in the Xfinity Series with the Racers Elite.
It looks like we got another group of 3 cars back there potentially going to lose the draft as well.
Yeah, Barry Nelson's hanging on right there at the back of it. Curtis Ector's hanging in there. Christopher Pendle. They're right here. They're coming back now. Christopher Pendle's right on the edge of that draft. You can be within about a second, and you can still roll him in. Barry Nelson, he may be checked out. He may have to join that group behind him. That's he's right on the edge of not being in it, and that gap is he's caught it. He's 3/4 out now. Yeah, he's bringing it back. He's right at the edge. I don't know if he was that's something else too. We don't know if those drivers were adjusting their pit stops or communicate with their spotters, and the crew chiefs trying to figure out what they're doing on this pit stop, try to gain some track position. Anything like that, so they might not feel comfortable being right there tight with everybody when they're making those adjustments. Unfortunately, some of them, it's simple, just push a button. Others are still using the clickers and trying to maneuver their UI throughout the course of making sure they don't use that faster per that one golden ticket to a mistake.
Yeah, and I'm one of those that uses the mouse, so especially at road courses and stuff, man, it could be quite a challenge trying to adjust things on the car and such, and it really, honestly, I should program a button for it. I don't know why I don't.
Well, let me ask you this: do you have? You can actually use your smartphone. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I need to look into some stuff like that. I know there's, especially the iRacing, that last update they just did, I believe they added a bunch of stuff to the UI as well. Try to make it like race labs more, I believe. And I don't even know how to set none of that up, so I got to get that figured out too.
Okay, yeah, that's like, I got 2 tablets in here, and I use one on my broadcast rig, and I use one on my sim rig, and I use it on my sim rig for my pit stops, so that helps out.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look into that. I could just use my phone or something and
You sure can.
make life a little bit easier.
That's also not just for the greatness of the stream, but if anybody out there has a Steam Deck or a tablet or want to use your smartphone, you can use the Elgato mobile app on your mobile devices and set all those buttons up and change the backgrounds of them so you can understand what they are at a glance and set your pit stops up and all that stuff, and even admin from with the caution flags and single file restarts and all the admin programmable buttons. So make sure you look into that, and it'll enhance your racing experience.
Yep, but we are getting ready to come from lap 40 about that fuel window here, and I imagine the front few are probably going to pit together, and we're probably going to have a couple near the back stay out potentially for another lap or two, try to see if they can get some kind of different strategy going where they're able to make up some time or gain some positions here.
They should be getting. We're about to find out what the difference is in the pit strategy versus the drivers, where they've been out front and which ones have been in the pack, which ones are going to have more fuel, and which ones are going to need to stop that much sooner. Seeing that pit window lap 40.
Yeah, me personally, with there only been about 40 more laps left, I'm probably not even going to take tires. Just going to fill the tank up and go.
Yeah, but the issue we're going to have is the drivers that are out front might be a little bit shorter on fuel. So it may play a role in how they handle the second half of this race.
Yeah, that is fair.
And, I bring up Races Elite Network, and thanks to Andrew, he's allowing me to simulcast, so we are also live on Hardy Sports TV, and welcoming guys, and sorry for the branding of the Races Elite Network. It's maybe throwing you all off, but yeah, we are streaming on the sister network, and it would be something else, Dakota, chat with you. Maybe you'll have your own deal going. Maybe we could potentially get live on it and run we could triple cast.
Yeah, that's fair. I actually just started my own broadcasting network last week.
Heck yeah, so we can definitely get live on that channel as well and bring in your followers as well. As pit stops are underway, and I believe Terry Fennell was one of the first to come down.
It looks like Lee Campbell, Christopher Pendle, Troy Thomas, and Terry Fennell, all four coming down. So it's going to be about a 4-car pack there. And they're really going to have to hope these top 10 don't all pit together at the same time.
Russell Martin Jr., too fast entering pit road. And I believe there may be a hold or something for the 9 as well, where James Foster Sr. have missed. You can see the marks in the grass down there. I don't know that he missed it, but he definitely overshot it. We're going to back this up and look at that real quick while these guys are getting their pit stops. We do have some tire takers that I can see. I'm going to take a look and see exactly. He actually hit the commitment cone, but he ended up in the grass. So great eye there. I believe he was able to stay with it.
At this point, it looks like Russ Martin's going to have to hope for a caution here, because he's going to have no draft partners or anything coming out of the pits. That hold's probably going to be about a good 40 seconds, because he was not unable to really uncheck any tires of fuel there to make it shorter.
Yeah, most definitely. That's going to be a rough one for him, as we got drivers already left pit road to rejoin the field. Lee Campbell in the 60 being, I'm not showing him as the race. Kinsley Smith's the race leader. I don't know why the 60 is out front there. Some member construency somewhere. Okay, that's where they come out right in front of your leaders. Wow, that couldn't have been any better time. They had that planned out pretty perfect. They didn't have a chance to go a lap down as the rest of the field. Coming to pit road, and Kinsley Smith. Ooh, we got a trio. The Three Stooges of Black Flags. Kinsley Smith, Brandon Sanfilippo, and Jonathan Stidham.
Yeah, had about 3 cars go off in the grass there coming into pit road. They's coming in hot and heavy, trying to make up as much time as they could there. But that's going to shake things up quite a bit.
Sure is, but guess whose name hadn't popped up in that list?
Who's that?
Stephen Luttrell. And he is down and away.
Might be in a good spot to have a chance to win this thing. I'm going to see how Andrew Teff through Sean Dunaway were able to pit together here.
Yep, no way they come. Let's see how this goes. There's a Christopher Pendle, also part of that Kyle Hess, Sean Dunaway. And they are all, Kyle Hess is like rubbing the edge of that grass. He's as far right on pit road as he can get. And
he's making sure he left everyone room.
Yeah, and that does give him the optimal arc into his pit box. So, and this is detrimental as it is with things going the way it is. Kinsley Smith, Johnson's Black Flags are cleared. They will have an opportunity to battle for position as the race leaders last time around. They're just now leaving pit road, so we'll see if they're able to hang on to it with this pit stop. This could be the strategy to get a win here, as Kyle Hess now your race leader. So.
Yeah, Kyle Hess down on pits though, I believe. But the only thing that's going to hurt Stephen Luttrell here is he's only got the 22 behind him with Brandon Biddy. So they're not really getting a lot of draft, and I think the leader is actually getting a really good pit stop there of Andrew Teff.
Well, Kyle Hess and Andrew Teff got a great pit stop, but they are separated. Andrew Teff probably has the best benefit. But here comes Stephen Luttrell, and they've gathered a lot of cars since we last looked at that position.
Yeah, everyone finally getting caught up. That 3-car pack behind them. Looks like they might lose one, so it's going to be 4 cars versus, I believe, 3, possibly even 4 up there for the lead. And Kyle Hiss
Back down pit
still
road.
on pit road.
That car looks he was weaving back and forth like something was wrong with that car. I'm not sure what's wrong with the 86 here.
I'm not either, to be honest. Maybe he unchecked everything to get the shortest amount of black flag possible and then came back in to get tires and top up on fuel so he wouldn't go a lap down.
That's potential, but he's rocking the edge of that boat because he's got to get rolling here pretty quick, or he's gonna be by himself, and that appears to be the case with the 9 of James Foster. Need somebody to work with, but he's gonna have to get rolling. They have to make some sort of plan here.
Yeah, with all the black flags and everything, we got about, I believe, 4 to 5 cars on a lap down currently. And it's going to be Christopher Pendle battling for the Lucky Dog position, currently 14th position.
Yeah, with Russ Martin Jr. and Brendan Sanfilippo. Actually, Brendan Sanfilippo, Barry Nelson, and James Foster. A lap down there. So there might be more than that. We'll see. Looks like from, well,
Jonathan Stidham getting really close to going a lap down with Kinsley Smith there. They were able to get served their black flag. Luckily, they were towards the front, so able to get out in front of this pack. But, I mean, there's a big old pack behind them coming very quickly.
And, we haven't talked about it much tonight, but Andrew Tept and Sean Dunaway sneaking through here, getting up. Curtis Ecker up 15 spots in that number 8 Chevrolet from 18th to 3rd. And, I mean, it's still got 35 laps to go. It's a long way to go here at Daytona. And Christopher Pendle just set the fastest lap of the race at 47.456. That car is strolling.
It does look like they're going to catch these cars back here towards this second pack. They're slowly reeling them in. As I say that, the front group actually started pulling away, coming down the backstretch, possibly catching the draft of the lap down cars.
Kinsley Smith in front of your race leaders, so that's out there a little bit. We'll see how this plays out for him. Like I said, the one driver we haven't talked about much tonight, Sean Dunaway, currently pushing your race leader, Andrew Tept. It's interesting to see him then come up through the field and to work with them. Dunaway qualified back in the 12th position. Is currently running second, and Curtis Ecker in Curtis Ecker's number 8 machine, right there with that group. They've got the 94 Christopher Pendle, who's currently ranked in the 14th position, working with that group of leaders. And here comes Stephen Luttrell back there leading the second pack. We'll see if they can run them down. It's not too big of a deficit. It can be overcome.
But the problem is this front pack is pulling away from that second pack here at the moment with the, having 4 cars now, Christopher Pendle joining them. And once they catch up to these other 2 in front of them, I mean, that's even more cars in that pack. So it's going to be a rough, an uphill climb for that second group. They're going to have to get things figured out and try to make up some momentum here as they've slowly lost about a second in the past 10 laps.
Losing that time is not going to benefit them at all. As each lap we're getting ever so much closer to that checkered flag.
And they must have heard me because it seems like they're gaining a little bit now, so that's good here. And the front pack finally getting to the back of Kingsley Smith and Jonathan Stidham here. Going to actually stay behind them to keep them, make sure they could keep the draft here. That did allow for the second pack to gain about 2/10, as the first pack wasn't 100% sure which lane to be in, so they had to switch a couple times there. But now getting single file back out, and Kingsley Smith's going to be leading that first group.
It may have been a little bit of a issue with keeping those cars cool, and things readjusted there. As could have been a lot of overheating issues. I know they're some of these drivers hyper focus, especially on super speedway races, and not mentioning any names or anything, but there's in particular with some connection issues, and that doesn't really stay solid and visible throughout the course of a race, that may have or may not have ran out of fuel on the last lap of a race when he was almost leading. Me and him like to throw shots at each other.
Didn't have to do them like that.
That's all right. I catch you doing stuff, and I get mentioned when I'm nowhere around. So what goes around comes around. So I know I'll get mine.
I do that to Matt Mettler all the time. He's been racing more instead of broadcasting, and every time he's in a race, I give him some beef. Just joking with him.
How'd you know that's what I was talking about?
He does the same thing for me. One time I said something about saying his name and he doesn't appear, then all of a sudden he's up towards the front.
Yep. That's the Mettler.
Got about 6 cars deep in this front pack, but the third car back is your leader in that 98 machine of Andrew Teff. Sean Dunaway kind of hanging back a little bit, kind of looking like he was going to make a move, but honestly probably just leaving a little bit of room for error just in case something does happen.
Yeah, there's you got to leave that little bit of a window here. Somebody get the apron, or it seems like they're running far enough off of it to the corner that they're not going to get that big bottleneck and checkup, but you never know when it comes down to iRacing. On a new update here recently, and the truck race is probably a good one, but so far so good here with the races Xfinity series at Daytona.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye on the second pack. They've actually gained about another 0.5 seconds here to your leaders. So, kind of wondering if maybe Andrew Teff should try to get around these lap cars and go back to leading, as it seemed like him and Sean Dunaway was working very well together and pulling away from that second group. But we'll have to see as the second group does continue to close in if they decide to make a move or something to get around these lap cars in front of them.
Yeah, you got the biggest mover graphic up, so Curtis Ecker right now is up 15 positions, currently running in the third position. Andrew Teff is up 12, currently your race leader. Sean Dunaway is up 10, currently second. Kingsley Smith is up 4, currently 11th. And Christopher Pindle is up 3, currently 13th. Well, we're looking at that. And we have had that one around the pit stops at so many different lap leaders we've had today, and that is a list right there. As Kingsley Smith has led 21 laps today so far. Terry Fennell 14, Andrew Teff 12, Lee Campbell 3, and then of course our pit stop cyclers, Stephen Luttrell, Brandon Biddy, Kyle Hess, and Brandon Sanfilippo all have led 1 lap today.
And we take them extra bonus points.
That's right. Any little bit.
You see the 9 car up in the wall.
Yeah, she's trying to stake there and make room for everybody to get around. He's actually he scored 18th right now in that Ford. So, man, I don't know. Is it cold enough to snow right now? It looks like this right now. Okay. Was it just happened to get a notification on the camera here outside that something was going on, and it just looked like it was. It looks white in the camera, but it's water.
Yeah, I believe we had about an 80-degree day today. Tomorrow it's going to be 40 degrees and raining, so love that. I wish you'd just make up its mind, man.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to get snow tomorrow.
Heck with all that. I'm snowed out.
I am too. I can't help nothing. It's kind of thunderstorm, tornado weather, raining right now, but it's gonna we're gonna get a cold front, and it's gonna it ain't gonna be bad, but it's gonna get stiff.
Yeah, then when it heats back up, you're gonna have to start worrying about tornadoes again. All that air pressure, different pressures and stuff colliding with each other, basically.
Oh yeah, there's a fight outside, and right now we are peacetime on the racetrack.
Whoa, Kenzie Smith having a little bit of issues. Got a little squirrely there coming through 3 and 4. Jonathan Stidham, I believe, in that 42 machine, able to kind of check up and keep him going straight there. But that is going to cost that first pack a little more time to the second one here.
Well, yeah, big boggle there, maybe missing his entry there. Maybe he got a really good push at a bad time. Got that 15 machine out of balance there. Sean Dunaway hanging on to the second position, but man, that's quite the battle as those drivers fighting to stay. You know, Stidham was trying not to go a lap down, but at the same time, both Smith and Stidham, and now look, here we go. You got the injury up on the outside now, and you got tired of them waiting on them to move, so now they're going to try to make that move themselves.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. You know, they were losing so much time in that second group there, and they probably want to settle it out between the three, so they're going to try to get around these lap cars because they were gaining time. But in the process of doing this, it's going to end up costing them even more time to the second pack here.
But if they can get in front of this group of lap cars before the second pack can catch the draft at the back of the 9 of Foster, it may benefit them to help them run away. But that gap it may be just slightly out of reach now, but they got a pack of 4 cars working together, and that's the beneficial part of it. And there's not enough room for Pendle to get down yet. Teammate on the outside stuck. Right there's a good gap there. Get in behind the 15, but the 42 is going to close that gap and not allow that to happen. So Pendle's going to lose out on helping the teammate here. Those 4 cars that were working together are all Chicken Coop Racing cars.
Now the Andrew test back to the point with Sean Dunaway pushing. We're going to be able to see if they're going to be able to extend this gap back out to the second pack here. It's only about 2 seconds back for them.
Yeah, I think
from the leader, but that's not necessarily how far back they are from the 9 car.
No, they're closer to that 9 car. They definitely they ought to be pulling draft right now off that 9 car. I'm pretty certain. It's real tight. If not, that's a real close gap. Let's see. It's a little looking here. But yeah, they're definitely pulling draft right now. But
not a lot, but just enough to kind of help them get it caught up there. If they can keep that up, they're definitely going to be in contention. As we only got 22 laps left now. I mean,
things are going to get interesting here, especially it's killing me to know if the second pack, how many times they've adjusted front runners here. Somebody might end up short. They're running real hard to try to catch these guys. Then again, Andrew Tepp doesn't seem to be too concerned about it. So, and but he was also tucked in. I think that might have been part of the thing. They might have been saving some fuel. Might be where they were losing ground on that second pack.
Yeah, that is very quite possible here. But well, it's going to be interesting to see what ends up actually happening. As you see, Kyle Hess dropping down 2 comes to pits, I believe.
Yep, Kyle Hess is coming to pit road. His last stop though. For that 86, he had issues anyway, but his last time in, pit lap for him, but it was a little off cycle.
Yeah, he came in twice, I believe. I believe he got a black flag and then came back in and got fuel and tires. I'm not quite sure why he's coming back down to pit road unless he's planning on there being a caution or something here.
And he may be, actually he is taking that car out of today's race.
Oh, fair enough.
So yeah, I guess maybe he rode it out and with 20 laps to go, he's not in contention. He's way outside unless he can get a waiver round. Not eligible for a lucky dog or anything like contention. If the caution were to come out, because we're now looking at we got drivers that are multiple laps down, but 8th on back right now. Currently, let's see, pick Fennel out, and Kenny Campos, so 11th on back, potentially going potentially a lap down. So once I got around Smith and Stidham, I think that kind of closed the cards on Kyle Hess thinking he's gonna have a good day.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sitting up here watching Andrew Tepp and Sean Dunaway. They're not really pushing, I'd say, super hard, but they're still being able to pull away from the second group again. Seems like them two I mean, just have very fast hot rods at the moment.
Yeah, they're just making it work in their favor. And they've been doing a really good job at it all day long.
Well, we'll have to see what happens here at the last lap, though, because I don't believe Sean Dunaway is affiliated with Chicken Coop, is he?
I believe so. Let's look here. Actually, I think. Let's take a look here. Trying to make me look like an idiot. And he is. Andrew Teff, Sean Dunaway, Curtis Ecker, and Christopher Pendle. Pendle is.
Yeah.
Pendle is a misfit driver, so I stand corrected on that one. But which was quite interesting that Pendle was helping. I mean, helping Andrew in general, just the simple fact that the misfits and Chicken Coop always a tight points battle each and every season.
Well, regardless if Latrell does catch up to them or not, if he's able to hold on that fourth spot, I mean, he's out to a pretty, I'd say, commanding lead right now in the points. So, wouldn't be a bad points day for him here in fourth place.
Well, Pendle is Latrell good fourth place run right now, but we'll see if they can do anything. About 16 laps to go, still a good bit of time, and I don't know. We'll see fuel mileage wise how it's going to play out for the Antisocial 36. Andrew Teff right now, your race leader is 98 Ford, and Sean Dunaway currently in second, Curtis Ecker's third, Stephen Latrell fourth.
I will say I do think everyone should have enough to make it to the end. If there is a Green-White-Checkered, Andrew Teff, and all the two behind him are going to be sitting in a really good spot if they were able to save a few laps there. But I'm not 100% sure what the fuel load on these things are. I don't race the Xfinity car enough to just know off the top of my head.
Well, they say 40, so they seem to have made a little bit past that, so we'll see if they should be able to make it.
About 15 to go as we crossed the line last time, so the aggression level probably about to start getting a little higher here. And I'm expecting if we do have a caution, it's going to come from that second pack trying to push to get caught up here to the front three.
And that could be. There's not a whole lot of. I don't see that there's a lot of push, but there's just a pack difference here, and I don't know that it's really enough to over push. I don't know that we can. Here we go. We get the second half of the front pack. Looked like they were going to jump to the outside and try to make something happen and get some laps back. Maybe a little anticipation of getting a couple positions, but they single filed back out. Maybe just somebody missed the line or bounced out and the car got hot and without all that clean air on the front of it. So that could be potentially why.
Guys are making very short work of this race, man. I'm just blowing right through 80 laps here.
Well, yeah, they're blowing through 80 laps. There's nothing to it. We're 54 minutes into this race, and these guys are just killing it. 13 laps to go. That being said, we're going to take a brief moment here and do a little side-by-side, and we'll stay with the action here as your race leaders continuing to click laps off here at Daytona.
Are you hungry? We have the cure. From our original pepperoni and cheese to our specialty pizzas, strombolis, and calzones. We have flavored chicken wings and other fried menu things. We have something for everyone. We also have beverages for those over 21. Enjoy a cold alcoholic beverage today. Are you hungry? We have the cure. Matt's Pizza Shop, 402 Church Street, Newburgh, West Virginia. Dine-in or takeout, open Wednesday through Sunday, hours vary.
Does your heart pump nitro? Do you like to put your ride to the test? well then you're our kind of driver. The performance oils, lubricants, and industrial fluids from Nitro Lubricants help you get the most from your vehicle's engine. And our line of appearance products will keep your vehicle looking as smooth as it runs. If you want extreme performance, it's Nitro or nothing. Shop our products at nitrolubricants.com. Nitro Lubricants, extreme performance.
Racers that win, pour it in, and we appreciate you.
Welcome back, folks. As we currently have about 10 laps to go as we cross the line next time by here at Daytona International Speedway. But the Racers Elite Xfinity Wednesday Series. And Andrew Teff currently at the point, Sean Dunaway second, Curtis Ecker third, and that second pack is starting to fall back yet again here. And I got a feeling we're about to start seeing some battling between them as our leaders are slowly catching up to some lap cars here. I think about 10 seconds out, if they do manage to catch up to them, that's probably going to put a wraps on things here.
Yeah, potentially could, as Andrew Teff, Sean Dunaway working well together. Them and Curtis Ecker. Kinsley Smith, the next car behind him, currently scored the 11th spot with Jonathan Stidham directly behind him. And that being a position battle, as well as Christopher Pendle. So 11th, 12th, and 13th there is, I believe, Russ Martin also part of it. No, not part of it. There he is. Part of it? No. He's part of the second group. So those drivers will have it out between themselves, Russ Martin Jr. and then it's if there's another pack of their own. But Andrew Teff still in command in the Racers Elite 98 Ford.
And we only got about 10 cars here on the lead lap. Kinsley Smith currently in the lucky dog position if a caution was to break out. And 9 to go as we cross the line that time. So I'm waiting on these front three, which I imagine it won't be till the last lap to start fighting. But I'm more interested in the battle that's going to start happening here in that second pack, as they've fallen to about 3.5 seconds back from 2. They were honestly about 1.9 seconds back there for a short little bit.
It makes you wonder exactly what made them, or what's making or plaguing them, so to speak, as they've fallen backwards through the course of this one. But as of right now, Andrew Teff looking pretty strong here with Sean Dunaway in second. Stephen Luttrell's three-peat looking a little slim at the moment, but if these guys up here start racing for position too strongly, this could very well play right into Stephen Luttrell's hands.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm watching this first pack. I don't really feel like they're necessarily sorted in an order perfectly. Like, they're leaving plenty of gap, about 3 to 4 cars back and all that. And then you go look at the second pack, and they're trying to stay real tight through all the corners and stuff. I'm really not understanding why they're losing so much time in that second group.
It makes me wonder if they're not allowing room for the wind stream to continue to push them forward. It's getting too far behind where the stream can actually pick up the cars and push them forward. It makes me wonder if, because these guys here are separated, they've got their own slipstream going. The draft plays a role, but maybe there's something going on that just doesn't, they don't need to be as tight as they are.
Yeah, that very well could be. As I said earlier, I'm not too good with this Xfinity car here, mileage-wise, so.
That's the only thing I could really think of why there would be such a difference in how some of these drivers are handling their race.
Leaders getting ready to cross the line for about 6 to go this time by, and as these laps are closing down, this gap just keeps extending, but anything can still happen. There could be a caution at any moment. I hate saying that word because cautions breed cautions, but this thing is looking to go flag to flag yet again.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes here as we get closer into this. It could potentially get could potentially go their way. It could swing caution-wise, and it could just get interesting.
So this sound weird, but I'm in a league where in the final 5 laps, the lap down cars are not allowed to help the leaders. It's on a different game, but it's a weird strategy because, you know, in actual NASCAR, they don't care if you're lapped or not. Realistically, like if you're helping, you're helping.
Well, yeah, you can. As always, you can either help or not, and that's as you said, it doesn't really play into a role there. I mean, I guess it could. If you're out front by yourself and you help the leader, and the leader gets in a pack of lap cars by themselves, it's not really make that big of a difference whether the lap cars will help them. That's a big deal difference there. But if they're out there by themselves, then they're kind of going to get run over and they'll take care of itself. Four laps to go, 3 to go as they come to the stripe this time as your leaders work their way down the back straightaway. Andrew Teff, Sean Dunaway, Curtis Ecker, Lee Campbell. Not really any changes here. Stephen Luttrell and Troy Thomas. So that pack has started racing. Oh, Troy Thomas in the back of Lee Campbell a little bit. Got a little loose, able to keep it under wraps here so far. So the second pack has started racing with 4 laps to go. They're trying to make the best of it and get all the positions and track position they can, realizing that they weren't catching that front pack, and it's gotten worse now.
Yeah, but I mean, Stephen Luttrell's still holding pretty strong on that inside. Brandon Biddy pushing him, but these 3 cars should prevail here on the outside.
Yeah, we gotta want to work together here, and it seems like Russ Martin Jr. not helping Troy Thomas out there momentarily as they're gonna get single filed out here and nose to tail. As now Stephen Luttrell is still trying to hold the bottom. We'll see if that prevails for him as he's going to slip to the 6th spot. Troy Thomas is still, man, I tell you, that's just a little iffy pushing that number 60 car from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it seems like every time the Nitrous Cowboy gets to his back bumper, he gets a little loose, especially coming down the backstretch there, but he's probably trying to show with everything he's worth at the moment. But the 60 might drop down in front of Stephen Luttrell. Oh, joke's on me, I guess.
And I was watching, I'm not sure what the 22 of Biddy was doing, but he's still trying to help the 36 of Luttrell at the moment as they work the bottom side of the racetrack. And the top side not really prevailing here. Russ Martin Jr. is kind of playing the middle ground right now. If they're not in front of him, he's trying to sneak his nose in there. So Russ Martin Jr. trying to, I mean, I don't think he's even battling for position at this point, but it's not helping him to really be in there. So.
Listen, bud, there's this thing called miles per gallon and smiles per gallon, right? He's trying to get them smiles per gallon right now. As you see, Lee Campbell and Troy Thomas finally able to complete the pass there, but that is going to give a chance for Stephen Luttrell and the 22 of Brandon Biddy to get a run here and potentially try to go back around the outside.
Get white flag out for Andrew Teff here up front, and it's him and Sean Dunaway. So this race will go green to checkered. No caution flag will be thrown, but if something happens, it's kind of in the boat where if it happens, it happens, and there ain't nothing you can do about it because here we go, last lap underway, and Andrew Teff is leading, but that does not mean anything because it looks like we're gonna have somebody step out of line. Looks like Curtis Ecker in the 8, and there comes the block. Sean Dunaway is gonna be the one left out to dry. As Kinsley Smith, the 15, now going to make his way forward as a lap car, and he's going to help the 8 of Curtis Ecker. Ecker now to the race lead change on the last lap of the race.
Man, there's still a battle going on in this second pack. You got Brandon Biddy being pushed by Stephen Luttrell as well for this 4th position. They're getting pretty good. Oh, he spins them.
Brandon Biddy and Troy Thomas. Welcome to pit road, boys.
Hey, Curtis Ecker able to come away with the win there.
Brandon Biddy needs to drive down pit road if he can, but he just exited out. So yeah, that's going to give up positions here. Troy Thomas also. Both have heavy damage flags there.
Well, the good thing is with the meatball flag, you can actually do a good 3 to 5 laps before it will completely disqualify you from the race.
Yeah, so they could have finished that out if they could have drove down pit road. So 7th and 8th, they're going to kind of relinquish those positions as they were not actually shown as scored to finish this race. So that's going to be very detrimental to them, as everybody else able to, looks like, finish this race under their own power. So we'll look at our, yeah, that's going to give positions to, I believe Truth Hoke and Kenny Campos will take over the 6th and 7th positions. Brandon Biddy and Troy Thomas have completed the laps, but they will lose a few positions. And I guess they're not going to fall too far down. But that's it's pretty rough on them. We'll see where they shake out on the final full field rundown. So we'll start our top 3 interviews here. Sean Dunaway and the Hello Kitty sponsored 01 machine will pick up the 3rd place finish. And you know, it's interesting because we have a Chicken Coop Racing podium tonight, so I want to see if they. So how this goes.
And guys definitely going to be excited about that one. Definitely good points day for Chicken Coop Racing here.
Heck yeah, most definitely. We got Sean Dunaway here in the booth in 01. Sean, congratulations, man. Man, how about for Chicken Coop Racing tonight? You got a Chicken Coop Racing podium here tonight, Teff, Ecker, and Dunaway.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a great race. The first half, not a lot happened. We kind of just rode it out for that first 40-some laps there. Already, Andrew Curtis and I were planning to pit together anyway, so luckily we got in there. I think Christopher also pitted with us, so we were able to get those 4 cars, out of the pits really well together, and I was able to push Andrew the whole time there. We were able to make up a ton of time. We were like 6 or 7 seconds in the lead there at the end, I believe. So, and then we decided to race it out on the last lap. Unfortunately, nobody helped me for some reason when I pulled out of the line. But hey, we'll take the 1, 2, 3 right there. Yeah,
fantastic race, man. Going from 12th to 3rd. You had a great run, and like I said, unfortunately didn't get the help you were looking for in the middle of that, but it just seemed like maybe you chose the lane that nobody wanted to be in, and maybe that lane didn't work for them earlier, so they just decided that you were the oddball out to make the decision to jump, and they didn't follow suit, but you're still able to salvage a 3rd place finish.
Yeah, for sure. We'll take the P3. Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody you got anything for Sean, Dakota?
Congratulations on 3rd place finish, and let's check and see where we're heading next week, because I can't quite remember, as I typically don't, because, not prepared.
Yep.
Give me one here.
Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Yeah, how you feel going into Gateway?
I love Gateway, for sure. It's a more technical, challenging track, and I tend to do well at those, so, looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll be able to be talking to you guys again there. That's for sure.
Heck yeah. Well, again, congratulations on P3. Is there anyone I want to thank or shout out for helping you get it done today?
For sure. I'd like to thank my wife, my mom and stepdad for always watching, and then my cats for always trying to ruin my race. They were actually quiet today. I don't think anybody showed up, so.
Hakuna Matata means no worries.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, Sean. Congrats on the All Chicken Coop Racing podium and a great 3rd place finish here at Daytona.
Alrighty, see you guys.
Yep.
We'll put Sean back in the Chicken Coop Racing. They actually moved up to the waiting room. They could just hang out on their channel because they were all 3 in there. So we'll talk about our 2nd place finisher. Driver who led a good bit of laps today, Andrew Tuff. Andrew, congratulations, brother. Chicken Coop Racing P1, 2, and 3. Great podium. And, a 2nd place after a last lap pass there by Curtis Ecker.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Chicken Coop podium. Yeah, really worked together pretty flawlessly tonight on pit road and on the track, and just kind of executed perfectly. No penalties or anything. We were able to stick together and draft, and We were just hoping to get to the white flag there and see what happened. And I probably could have, looking back, maybe I could have blocked a little harder down the backstretch. But I'm glad just one of us won it, and all three of us walk away with really good finishes.
Like a great, fantastic race. Dakota, you got anything for Andrew?
Man, congratulations on the P2 finish. And is there anyone I want to thank or shout out today?
I want to thank you guys for helping out in the booth. I want to thank our servicemen and women, friends, family, team. And if anybody wants to check us out, just head on over to racerselite.com. You can find all of our schedule, standings, info, Discord invites, the whole 9 yards. And congrats to Curtis.
Yep, congrats to the Chicken Coop Racing gang, and great second place for you, and a great podium filler tonight for Chicken Coop Racing.
Thanks, fellas.
Yep.
Alright, Andrew Tuff picking up the second position. We'll talk with our race winner, Curtis Ecker, picking up the race win, Chicken Coop Racing podium once again. Man, congrats on a fantastic run from 18th to the win on the last lap.
Thank you.
That's a big feat there, especially it's not an easy crowd, and you worst to first tonight, and it's executed very flawlessly throughout the course of the race to be able to do so.
Yeah, it was a good race. You never quite know how these super speedways are gonna pan out for sure, but we all kind of just hung out there for the first half of the race, and then managed to have excellent pit stops and come out grouped up with the three of us there, and we knew once the three of us got together, we were gonna be committed to the very end.
Yeah, being committed to the very end was a good way to put it, and you guys definitely executed well, and the team performed flawlessly. Drafting with one another and picking who to push to the front, and you guys definitely showed that you were the force to be reckoned with, and the team not to mess with at Daytona.
Yeah, it was fun to have a little battle there at the last lap. I thought Andrew on that backstretch was actually going to stay up in front of me, and I would have probably ended up pushing him because, I wasn't going to make any major sudden moves to take the chance of wrecking all three of us.
Right on. Yeah, that definitely plays a role in that. Dakota, you got anything for Curtis? Any questions or anything?
Well, man, after you win, how do you feel going into Gateway next week?
Gateway's always a fun track. I seem to always run pretty well there. Hopefully put together another good solid run.
I'll look forward to possibly seeing you again next week. So, I want to thank shout out for helping you get it done.
Just my family and everybody here at Racers Elite, and just such good teammates, and you guys who do an amazing broadcast.
Well, we appreciate you, man, and I hope to see you again next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Ron. Pretty good race there.
Sure was, brother. It's a very awesome race indeed. They definitely were rolling through this one pretty good.
Yeah, flag to flag, no issues and all that, but I'm going to go ahead and take my leave so I can try to do this Vegas race, and I'll see you again next week or when I see you, sir.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
Yep, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring us to a close here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to congratulate the top three on their win, and great win for those drivers. So congrats to them, the Chicken Coop Racing crew. So that was awesome to see that. But without further ado here, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank Dakota for joining me here in the booth. I want to thank all the drivers for putting on a fantastic show here today. It's been a pleasure to be here in the booth tonight. We do have the Gen 4 Cup Series tomorrow, so we will be here for that. And hopefully you all check back in with us tomorrow as well, as we take a look at the race results and go through our recap of the day here at Daytona International Speedway. race of 80 laps in the distance. So here we go. Curtis Ecker picks up the race win for Chicken Coop Racing, leading the last and final lap, the only one that matters. Andrew Tepp comes home second for Chicken Coop Racing, as well as third for Chicken Coop Racing is Sean Dunaway. Coming home in the fourth position, Lee Campbell. Stephen Lachelle comes home fifth, Stuart Sturt sixth, Troy Thomas is seventh, Brandon Biddy is eighth, Kenny Campos comes out the ninth finishing position. Running at your top 10 was Kinsley Smith, 11th is Jonathan Stidham, 12th Christopher Pendle, 13th is Russ Martin Jr., 14th Terry Fennell. Coming home 15th, Brandon Sanfilippo, 16th is Barry Nelson, 17th James Foster Sr., rounding off the field, and 18th Kyle Hess. Of course, today Curtis Ecker was the hard charger from up 17 spots for Chicken Coop Racing. Andrew Tepp led the most laps with 38. Fastest lap was Christopher Fennell with 47.457 for the Misfits team, and the pole was by Brandon Sanfilippo. We had 10 different leaders, or 10 different lead changes on the green flag with 8 different leaders, and 0 cautions with 0 total laps, and that will do it for us here for the Racers Elite Xfinity Series, and we'll see you tomorrow night in the Gen 4 Cup Series. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.